The question of Buddhism in contemporary societies is a very important one. Today, Buddhism is being introduced and practiced in many societies that are not traditionally Buddhist. That raises many important issues about the compatibility of values in European and American cultures and coming into contact with this new philosophical, religious, meditative tradition. So my paper was to look at the question of women in Buddhism, especially the position of women in the transmission of Buddhism to new cultures. So the device I used was to try to match up concepts. And just as China experienced the same kind of transmission during the 4th, 5th, 6th centuries, now in the 20th, 21st century, we find Buddhism coming into cultures with totally different but highly developed value systems and philosophical traditions. So matching up concepts such as equality, justice, human dignity, integrity, human rights, and so forth, I found to be a very good lens through which to look at Buddhism and issues of women in Buddhism. So they may not mean exactly the same thing, but then that's very interesting to look at. Is liberation, for example, in the Western conception anywhere near similar to what we mean by liberation in the Buddhist conception? So this helps us to look at the position of women in Buddhism and the future of women in Buddhism. Yeah, it was a great discussion. Thank you. Well, it's always inspiring to be part of a discussion, and especially discussions about Buddhism, especially discussions about Buddhism in new cultures. I find this very, very interesting topic. And it raises issues about what is women's role, for example. In large part, we see that women have not really had a central role in Buddhist traditions. In the beginning, they did. Women had a voice, and women were included in the monastic order. They received teachings, they reached high levels of realization. But over many centuries, they did not. Now we come up to the modern day. So in this discussion, women were also included. And we had a voice. We had a large number of women speakers as well as male speakers. And men also encouraged us to speak out. So for women to take their place at the table is very, very important in these discussions. We can no longer assume that women have nothing to say. So lots of different questions were raised. And it was very nice that women were intentionally made an integral part of the discussions. So that was wonderful.